Larry Groce here. Mark O'Connor is joining us on Mountain Stage, and of course he has a myriad of recordings out there, but here's something new that he has, the O'Connor violin method. This guy is involved in so many things, both performing and composing, and also now a way to teach kids how to play the violin that's a combination of the kind of traditional Suzuki, but with American music involved, and also learning some notation too. So, well, he's on the show today though with Hot Jazz, which in this case today is a quintet. Is that right?
That's right.
And you got a vocalist for the first time on our show. Have you been traveling with Heather Massey off and on?
She's brand new with us, and we just love her so much. She's an incredible vocalist and a dynamic performer, and fits our sound just perfectly. And then I've added and expanded our guitar role to 2 guitars, and we have 2 of the greatest guitarists in the world, Frank Vignola and Julian Lage, and they're just picking up a storm.
Yeah, as if Frank wasn't good enough.
Right.
Yeah, that's really true. Here it's like you have one of the best in the world, so you add another one who's another one of the best in the world.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then the bass player?
Gary Mazarapi,
yeah.
A great jazz bass player from New York, where I currently live now. I moved to New York City 4 years ago, and so I've met a lot of musicians there, and have a lot of ensembles that I've put together, and this is the newest version of Hot Swing.
Yeah, and you could do so much, the Hot Swing. I mean, I know that Stefan Grappelli, Django Reinhardt, there's some great, well, for many people, great inspirations and examples. I know you play some of that music because I heard you warming up, but you're also going to work in some other things, some of your own pieces, or what do you have in mind today?
Absolutely. I've actually written a lot of pieces inspired by my mentor, Stefan Grappelli, and he became my teacher when I was 17 or 18 years old. And I did some tours with him, and he became a real significant figure in my life musically, and I hope lots of gratitude and for his vision, his legacy, his ability to take the violin outside of preconceived notions and expand it and make it really universal across any audience, genre, barrier. People would come to see Stefan Grappelli play, and so that's really been a goal of mine to take American string playing, American fiddling, American jazz, string playing, and take it into even the classical realm, where I've composed a lot of string quartets, piano trios. I'm up now to 7 concertos for violin and orchestra.
That's incredibly impressive, especially since which one is it? The first that's been performed more than any modern concerto, over 200 performances with orchestras across the world. That's a huge.
A situation so heavenly, a fairyland where no one else could enter, and in the center, just you and me.
You're composing a symphony, you're composing a concerto. This isn't something you sit in a hotel room and do in an evening. So do you have a regimen? Do you say, like, I'm staying home and doing this, or how do you divide up your year?
It was funny, I was visiting some friends late last night, and I told them, I said, well, I've got to get up at 5:30 in the morning, and they said, I thought musicians get to sleep in.
Yeah, that's why you do it.
And I said, not professional musicians, we basically get no sleep. So yeah, I was pulling, believe it or not, 15-hour work days on the Americana Symphony, composing that for the last 2 months. It took me 9 months to compose. It's about a 34-minute piece.
I can believe that.
Full orchestra, I mean, like 90-piece, lots of percussion, and I had to notate every percussive hit and how you strike the drum, and with what mallet or instrument. But it was a long process, and it actually surprised me how much work it was. Now I can see why more people don't write symphonies.
Sure. I mean, there's plenty of reasons not to.
A lot of work.
Yeah, as you were growing up and were being trained before Stefan Grappelli, I mean, let's say when you were a boy, Did you study music conventionally? I mean, did you learn as anybody would a violin through the conventional methods?
I did. I studied classical music and jazz and folk music and world music. I actually studied flamenco for 2 or 3 years.
So you were actually doing that with teachers?
With teachers, and I was able to
at the same
accomplish
time
all this training. Some of it overlapped.
Yeah.
You know, I would get on a track for a while, for a few years, and really concentrate on that, and then it would overlap with the next thing. But by the time I was out of high school, I had all these, I call them the 4 pillars of string playing: the classical, Western classical, jazz, folk music, and world music. And those are the 4 pillars that my string camps are really designed around. And I have one that's not very far from here, in Tennessee in the summer, and I have one in New York City. And I've been doing those for about 16 years, bringing all these incredible teachers that teach these different styles to our students. And our students are becoming incredibly well-rounded string players. Many of them are going into the profession now.
Yeah.
We've probably seen over 5,000 students come through our summer camps now.
Wow.
And
How long does the camp last?
It's only a week. And registration is on my website, markoconnor.com.
There are a lot of CDs out there with Mark O'Connor, with his swing group, and well, I don't know how many albums you made. You probably don't know either at this point. There has to be scores of them.
I think 35.
There you go,
35.
You got your choice. Plus, if you happen to be a teacher and you've looked this up, if you Google this to find out, because you're a great admirer and a teacher of violin, this is his new method, and he will be giving seminars around the country. So check out his website, which is
markoconnor.com.
That's right. Mountainstage.org is where we are, and we're looking forward to hearing Mark on Mountain Stage. Thanks a lot.
Thanks so much.
Frank Vignola, Julian Laws.